Um, the old world of energy efficiency, right, was about requiring all cost-effective energy efficiency to avoid long-term power plant investments. But as Tina talked about, as a lot of us know, there are a lot of factors that are affecting both the cost effectiveness of energy efficiency and the availability of measures. So for a long time now, we've seen measure level cost effectiveness declining due to changes to avoided costs, which Tina talked about a bit with looking at the renewables. But then also due to baselines. So, as we make more efficient code, baselines change. And so measure level cost effectiveness, finding measures to include in programs has been an issue for quite a while. The regional planning model, as Tina just spoke to, sees less opportunity for energy efficiency as supply side renewable costs are declining. But at the same time, there's sort of this cognitive dissonance for us over here because, the state forecast is demonstrating a substantial need for more energy efficiency with projected load growth that's kind of astonishing. The Washington State Energy Strategy forecasts that load growth is going to be 13 to 20% above 2020 levels by 2030 and 92% above by 2050. So that's like building a doubling the size of the grid, right? That's really substantial. So despite the economic forecasts, it seems to us that energy efficiency is essential here. And at the same time, as all of this is happening, we also haven't seen that building EUIs have they haven't really been declining. So maybe in some places like City of Seattle, where there's a real focus on it, maybe there have been some declines. But despite all of this implementation of energy efficiency, a lot of buildings still have pretty high EUIs. And sorry, I don't know if that acronym was included in the list. So that's the energy use intensity of the building. There are new approaches out there and they offer a lot of opportunity, like pay for performance approaches. And I'm going to talk a bit more about those on my next slide. But at the same time, the value proposition of some of these, they don't really fit neatly into the existing planning framework. I think one of the big, huge opportunities, right, is to really look at the performance of the building at a meter and worry less about what specifically is happening inside to achieve the better performance. But that doesn't really how our planning framework builds this all up. So there's sort of this difficulty in sort of considering what some of these new and innovative things, what they might be able to achieve, because we simply just don't have a way of factoring them in. And then lastly, I think the grid is decentralizing. We have more customer sited renewables, meaning, folks are putting some solar panels on their roof or what have you. There's grid interactive equipment. In some cases, there's policies requiring folks to have grid interactive equipment. So, water heaters that can communicate with the grid. And we also see the greater proliferation of electric vehicles, which provides some opportunity as well. There's certainly load impacts from charging them, but there's also that battery when it's not being used. So there is a lot of change happening. This is just to really list a few of the things.